Hi guys. So today, this afternoon, we're going to be looking at, I'm trying to figure out how to get the application to send emails. So I'm using a tool called SendGrid. It's not logged in right now, but basically SendGrid is a way in which you can send out text messages through applications. So between applications rather. So you can send text messages. I think it's application to application and then application to person or user. So in another video, we'll talk about how I've set it up. But right now, I'm trying to get it to work. So I've set it up. I could do a separate video on how to set it up and how I figured out how to set it up, and then how to test it. So every time you do something, you need to make sure it's actually working. So we've run a few tests that have been prompted by Copilot and they've not worked. So I'm currently trying to work out what the issue is. I'm just going to go back to my Copilot screen. It's saying, so I've run these tests in Bash. Bash is basically it's an environment. So that's the right word that someone explained to me. It's an environment, although I don't know when they explained it to me as an environment, I didn't really get it. It's like, what environment? Again, I'm not from coding. I don't have a background in engineering. So to me, it didn't make any sense. But how I will explain it now, it's basically a way in which you can communicate with certain aspects of your application. So you tell it text, you give it text commands and it does things. You give it text commands and it tells you things. So it's telling, showing, sometimes telling, showing, doing. That's how it works. And you can speak to it in different languages. So it has the main kind of Bash console language. And then if you have Python, or if you're coding, for example, using Python, and you may want to access your Python code, you can access your Python code and also initiate some changes on Python directly via the Bash console, but you would need to tell Bash to take you to Python and then give Python your instructions. And you could then be in the Python environment, right? Python interface, and then you would be able to change things using Python language. So I think that's like one of the easiest ways to explain it. If it doesn't make sense or you think I should go over it again, let me know. So when Copilot is giving you prompts, it will tell you which environment to use. So as well, we have to remember this application, because it's just basically, we don't know if there's any users, we don't know if anyone's going to care about it. It's simply a way for us to develop skills using Copilot and learn about coding, and then also see if there's a market for the application. But really and truly, I say we, but I'm saying we, me and you, but I really mean me. But really and truly, it's just to be able to go step by step and actually go through building an application. So Copilot will tell you when you're building it, and it's telling me now which environment to do what. If you have a bigger budget, you can, I think that there are ways in which you can install applications that make this a bit easier, so you can see a different interface, because Bash can be a bit confusing. But in my case, for example, I'm using Bash to communicate to the different aspects of my technology. So we're saying languages, and we're saying different areas. So we have Python. So I'm using Bash to communicate and make changes in Python. And I'm using Bash to communicate and make changes in SQL as well, which is the database system, which stores all the information about the users and different things. So let's get back to the problem at hand. The problem at hand is that I have connected SendKey with the application, but when I'm testing it, it's failing. So Copilot has asked me to put this in Bash. So basically, it's just you just copy into that. There was a prompt. It tells you what should happen next, which should be this little arrow, which basically means you're in Python. So by the way, if you ever see these arrows in Bash, it means you're in Python. It says print hello world, which is basically an instruction, and it did print hello world. So that's working. It then says to copy and paste this in the same shell, which means in the same console, which I've done. And it says the path should, if it's printed path points inside your project, you shadow the SDK. So sometimes it tells you what you should do if it's printed things, and sometimes it tells you what you should see if it's correct. So it's like, you should see this if it's correct, or it tells you what you should see should be this. It doesn't always tell you what something is wrong when something's wrong, or what it looks like when something's wrong. So that's where, especially when you don't have this experience, you have to feed it back the input, and then it will tell you again. It's a bit of an annoying process, and I think that there's a way to improve this, but it doesn't know what your output is till you tell it. So I'm just going to put myself off camera for a bit. Or just maybe move it, really. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, well, I don't think there's a real place to move this other than where it is now, but